Direct from Foxborough, Massachusetts, the gem of Norfolk County, and taped at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access. It's Foxborough Central. And here's your host, Bob Hickey.
Welcome to another great episode of Foxborough Central. You heard the man. I'm Bob Hickey, your host. Thank you for taking a little bit of time to sit back, relax, and join me as we introduce ourselves and interview a member of the contingent running for school committee, Stephen Udden.
Hi, Bob.
How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
And you are running to become a member, a 3-year term of the Foxborough School Committee.
I am.
Why?
Well, it's almost cliche to say that you love the town because it's absolutely true. Catherine and I, my wife and I, moved here with our 1-year-old daughter about 13 years ago. And we were looking for a house in Boston. I grew up in Norwood, down the road, but we were living in Boston. And we couldn't find anything.
Right.
So my wife opened the compass on the map, and Foxborough plopped right in there.
It fell within the commuting distance.
Yep, and we came and we saw the house, and I'm an avid iced coffee drinker, and while we were looking at the house in February, I went uptown, right near the jewelry store here at the center of town, and at the time, it wasn't a soup store, it wasn't Spoodles, it was Honeydew Donuts.
Okay.
And I went up there totally alone, had never really been to Foxborough, and I walked in, and there was a nice high schooler working behind the counter, and 3 of her friends, a guy and a couple of girls, just standing there talking with her. And I'll be darned, I walked up to the door, and the young man came forward and opened the door and met me in the eye, and looked me in the eye and smiled. And I had this really nice experience with these 4 kids.
Well, you never know when somebody's going to get touched. That's why it always pays to be positive, right?
Well, yeah, and so I got back, and Catherine said, you got your coffee. I said, I want to live in a town that has kids like this. They were nice, they were polite, they were squared away, they were kids, they were teenagers, they were acting normal, but just great people. So we flew into this house, and I have no plans to leave. We love it here.
Well, that's great, and that segues us right into welcome to Foxborough. You've been here now for 13 years.
Yeah.
And you have your wife, Catherine.
Yeah.
And you have 2 kids?
Yeah, Sophia, she's 13, she's at the Ahern, and Tessa, she's 11, they're at the Ahern. We like to say at home, we're on a roll to the honor roll, and they're making it and doing very well.
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Sophia. The other night, during Candidates Night, I was in here doing some work, and I met her. Very lovely girl, and seems like she's got a great head on her shoulders.
Yeah,
so,
I'm blessed.
I didn't know whether she was your family or your business manager, but either way, she had things going well. So
I think you and I both share.
Very proud.
I think you and I and a lot of people in this town share the same feeling. We're really blessed to have great kids.
Well, and so we're all, and I also have 2 children in the, or young adults now, who are in the public schools. They're both in the high school, and I know my affiliation or understanding of or partnership with or customer of the schools, depending upon which phase. How did you get involved with the schools? What made you passionate about the schools?
Well, both children, both daughters went to the borough. I'm proud to say I was a borough parent, and I got right into the PTO. Showed up. I was one of the very, very few men there at first in the group, and I never served on the committee there because I didn't really have the time, but I was very active and really enjoyed the schools and getting to know the parents and the community. Foxborough is a community. It's as real as it gets, and I really enjoyed that. And then I joined the Mabel M. Burrell Scholarship Committee, and I was on it for about 3 or 4 years. And every year we'd get a packet from the high school with candidates for scholarships. And you really had to read these essays closely. And then as a group, we'd come up with different scoring metrics that we had to follow, etc. And every year I would say the same thing. These kids are great. And they come from so many different backgrounds, so many different situations. Some of them, you almost can't imagine, or you don't want to imagine, and they're stellar. And I'm a big underdog guy. I like the underdog. So at these meetings, I would always say, I'm going with the underdog here on the ratings, and I'm going to fight for that person.
You know what? It's one of the, and that's why I like having these conversations. I'm really happy that you took the time. For those at home who just jumped in,
Doing a Rubio here, I'm having a glass of water.
I'm with Steve Udden, who's a candidate for school committee. And if you want to learn more about Steve after this program, you can either log on to our website at www.fcatv.org or check him out at his website. He has one also. It's www. And you're going to have to help me out if I get this wrong, votestephenudden.com. And I'll spell it out, www.vote, VOTESTEPHEN, UDDEN, Udden.com. Excellent.
Very professional, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do try. So, it's great that you mentioned the scholarships. I too have gained such a great appreciation of our schools and our youth by sitting on several scholarship committees over there. We at Cable Access, of course, we also have a scholarship, but over the years, sitting on the McGinty scholarship and the Foxborough JCs, and so many times I've had the opportunity to read that packet as it comes in.
It affects you, doesn't it?
It's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, it's such a positive.
Yeah, and
you just wish
again,
you had more money to give out.
The scope that we did that, and the scope is huge. I mean, there's just so many different people. But that's what got me involved. I met Frank Spillane once in a store, and I had seen him at a couple of town meetings. I think I went to the mic once or twice, and started getting involved in town politics. And before I knew it, after some questions and answers, I found myself on the advisory committee.
Frank is a very, very intelligent man. And
yeah,
he saw you. Plus, you also
he's not a softie when it comes to vetting.
He
gets
made eye contact with him, and that also identified you as a likely volunteer.
Well, it wasn't being voluntold, I'll tell you that, as we say. But Frank and the group that puts people on AdCom is they're very careful and cautious and want to make sure they have a good mixture of different stripes in the town on the board. And
well, Frank does a great job as our town moderator, and as folks in the home know, the town moderator appoints folks to the advisory committee, we call it the AdCom, and the AdCom plays a key role of advising the voters of the town warrants for special town meeting issues. And with and the chairman this year, of course, is Larry Thomas, and for folks at home who are always going to come out and vote on Tuesday, April 30th. I know you are. And after you do that, I hope you'll join us at Foxborough Cable Access and check out our live election coverage. I'll be there at the polls interviewing candidates. Hopefully they won't be too sunburned after spending 13 hours outside holding signs, and they'll still be able to talk coherently with me. But we'll also be interviewing Larry Thomas. And last year, I had the great opportunity to spend 45 minutes talking to John Gray, who was the chairman of the advisory committee last year. And that'll be a great opportunity for folks at home to really get an in-depth conversational interview, if you will, and discussion of the town warrants. So what a great service the AdCom does. And you've been a member of the AdCom for how many years now?
I did 3 years. 3 years. And some of the best advice I got was from Larry Thomas. About halfway through, I said, I think I want to run for school committee. And Larry said to me,
after you
Stephen,
stopped laughing.
No, he took me seriously, and he said,
of course, he also served on the school committee.
He said, Stephen, let me give you some good advice. I said, what is it, Larry? I trust you. He said, stay in school. I said, what do you mean? He says, stay on AdCom, finish your term. That's where you learn how the town works. And that's where you learn and get to meet all the different people in the different aspects of the town. And I was liaison on AdCom to our school committee, our Board of Health,
I was going to ask
and our
what your
fire
role
department.
was there. Yep.
Okay, and phenomenal experience. Some days it was drier than others, but just a remarkable experience that I wouldn't change for the world, and I'd do it all over again if it was right for my family to do with the time commitment we have to make. And I'm glad I stayed in school. And then I was appointed when, sadly, our town lost a very active citizen at the Southeastern Voc Tech School. I saw that seat sit empty for a while, and I talked to some people and got vetted by the school committee and Board of Selectmen.
The seat, of course, was left vacant by the passing of Dan Iagata.
Yeah, and God bless his soul, Dan. A lot of people love him still and loved him when he was with us. But I actually never knew Dan. But I took the appointment because I wanted to represent the town. And then I didn't plan on running. I thought someone would step forward to take the elected seat. And this past November, no one else decided to run, so I ran to keep the seat so that we have stability.
Well, we have to have representation as well. So
I think it's important, and I'm sure there's other people out there that are interested in doing it, and I really hope they are.
Well, it's a lesser known but very important piece to be part of it's a Southeastern school cooperative for the tech school, and that is a seat that you're currently on, and you're wrapping up your AdCom work now.
I'm done with AdCom.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm on that.
So now you're ready to embark upon a new adventure.
Well, I want to do school committee, and one of the things that has been very important to me and always will be is, of course, academic achievement, and always, going forward. I don't like to be in a laboratory and test things out. I like to do proven, validated programs. We've got an excellent pedigree behind us of school committee members, some of whom I'm challenging for incumbent seats. And I'm very happy with our school system, but I'm a STEM guy, and I want to bring that aspect to our curriculum or to enhance that.
All right, I got to ask, STEM, what does that mean?
Well, I work for an engineering firm here in town, Invensis, the Foxborough company.
Very good. So you work local?
And love it. And STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay.
It's almost the new 3 R's, but it's part of that spirit. And our future is going to require,
well, you know what, the
as
reading,
you and I
writing,
age,
arithmetic is dramatically different now than what it was back in the day.
right?
So.
Which comes to technology, and one of the things that got me interested in this election is that our town's going to be spending probably substantial amounts of time and money on equipping our school system with technology, and that needs to be done with some expertise on the school committee. We have a nurse, a psych nurse, that's on the school committee, and I'd be one of the nerdy kind of guys that would be on it.
So
to help with
maybe
that.
a different way of saying that would be that you would bring a little bit of a different perspective. The technology side that maybe you excel in would be something you could contribute.
I can definitely add value to those conversations.
I guess that goes
and
to balance,
decisions.
because a really good board or any good management team is made up of balance. I know that
Upside
in my
thinkers and
work,
downside thinkers,
I have people on my team that do things very well that I don't do so well, but it's important that they're there because it needs to be a total approach. And so, how would you bring that to the school committee?
Well, I'm not a one to just vote right away on something, and just because the pitch has been made, I like to as I said earlier, if it's a knot, I like to pull all the strings out, as somebody here in town likes to say, and identify all the facts and make sure we get good, sober thoughts and plans and strategies in place that we can put measurements, milestones, and check along the way and adjust as we need to. But across the town, we have other needs for this technology. So there's going to be, at least in my opinion, a confluence of other departments and technology that we may be able to, lean on each other to help and assist with, and then maybe bring in consultants or not. And then we also have an incredible pool of subject matter experts in town here that might be able to give us some guidance, maybe even, say from the type of people I work with. Also the type of people that live here in town. Statistically, we have a substantial number of people like that. So, but I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not just Mr. Technology.
There's more to than technology.
Well, I've been looking at the physical plant work that we're going to have to do. The Burrell definitely needs to be done. The Taylor is right there on the horizon,
we
real
have
close.
Roof issues, right?
We have roof issues. We have bandwidth management for the rooms that we use. Right now the high school, I believe, was built to hold about 1,300 plus or minus students. I think we're at around 800-900, which is not a problem. It's just that we have that capacity, but we may have to measure it as other municipal projects come along. Or may not, right? I'm not editorializing on them. I'm just saying, if we get other municipal projects, we could have an influx of residents.
I think I'm really happy you brought this up. Again, I'm interviewing Steve Udden for school committee. So, Steve, with that, it is a one town, and it's not a my department and your department, this department fights against that department. It has to be really a comprehensive approach, and I think the town side, if you will, recognized that years ago when Randy Scollins started working with former finance director for the schools, Paul Jackson, and really streamlining the IT side. In fact, I know the town relies heavily upon the school department's IT group really to support and create for the overall infrastructure. And the iNet project that happened some years back, and with continuing technology changes, and what are we up to now? Windows 92 or Windows 2047, whatever it is, there's always going to be continual change. So you always have to be on the right side of the bell curve in order to prepare our kids for the real world.
It's not the new world order. It is the human experience continuing to evolve. And I happen to be lucky enough to be in that time of my life and in that place in my parenthood where I can contribute that. But we are watching, school growth, bandwidth management of, seats per classroom. That's very important. And academic achievement is the core of what we do. But beautifully and elegantly has a great athletic department.
Phenomenal
music department that is the envy of all.
Award-winning arts.
Arts, graphic arts, and all of these things, again, need to come back together. But we're not just strumming guitars anymore, we've got MIDI devices. So our music department's getting upgraded with technology right now. I think we're a little behind. I think we should have been going faster and more aggressively on it some years back. But it's not a problem. I'm not a rear view mirror watcher. I like to look forward, and if we need wisdom from people that have been there, we can tap into that because of the community that we have. Nobody ever says no here. I'm a Rotarian. We don't say no, and that's what we do here in Foxborough.
Sounds
I really like
you
that.
have some definite forward-looking ideas.
Well,
if
and I'm looking forward to Founders Day because I'm on that committee too.
Are you really? Well, excellent then. So Steve, I cannot believe it, but our time has already flown by.
Oh, Bob, I don't want to leave.
You'll have to run again so we can do this again.
I may have to.
You get the last word.
Many people that know me know that I'm a very sincere, transparent person, and definitely not afraid in committee meetings to ask awkward questions, difficult questions. And that's what I do. I don't sit and act quietly. Many members on our existing board, I think, school committee are fantastic. And I'll bring a chemistry that I think may have a little catalyst to that to get more conversation going in a cooperative, non-confrontational way, but in a problem-solving kind of way. I'm a Lean Six Sigma process, expert, and these things come with me. And so I'm not in to shake up the board. I'm there to contribute to it, and I think I can do that. And I'm very comfortable running for this office, and really hope that I hope I win. But the voters will tell. It's their responsibility to look us up and make a good decision as a voter.
Well, very good. And voters at home, I hope you'll go out on April 30th and vote. At the Ahern Middle School. Steve, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come in and talk with me and visit with us in Foxborough Central. If you'd like to learn more about Steve Udden, log on to his website at www.votestephenudden.com, or check us out and check out the link to this program and any other Foxborough Central at www.fcatv.org. I'm Bob Hickey, your host. I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time to see this. Remember, as always, the views expressed by our guests do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, volunteers, or staff of Foxborough Cable Access. That said, elections are a wonderful thing, and we want to thank you for taking the time to learn a bit about this one. Take care, Foxborough. See you at the polls.